For me to effectively explain how I have implemented innovative techniques into my classroom, I think that it would be important to first explain what I think that classroom should look like. And that would be an environment that is creative, energetic, and insightful, where students are able to thrive. And that definitely stems from the teacher for me. I think that if she is passionate about the content and loves learning and also has that foundation of relationship with her students, then that classroom will be very successful. Important things to talk about with innovative education would be student engagement. Are we making sure that our students are engaged? Are they interested? Do they see that the information is applicable and relevant to them? Are they able to plug it into their own personal lives? Flexibility. Am I open to different types of learning? Is my classroom conducive to all students? Openness. Do I approach my students with honesty and respect and integrity? Is it a place where all students feel valued and feel like they belong? Creativity. I think this is the most important part. Are they able to take information and process it and take ownership and then create something new? Build on that knowledge and create new things that are their own. The most important part for me would definitely be student-centered classroom. Are there clear expectations? Are students aware of their job and their role in my classroom? Do they walk in every day knowing that their talents are being used and they're important to the classroom? And then also a clear class structure. Are we organized, and is there a daily routine that students are confident in to where they're able to thrive? I think another important aspect would be research. I think that a successful classroom is evolving and constantly changing and fine-tuning, finding different ways to improve, and finding different ways to break the mold of conditional thinking that I think that education is kind of stuck in right now. No longer trying to pick from 4 answers and fit onto a piece of paper. And a great way to do that for me is asking questions. I think it's an art that teachers need to teach their students. Are we asking them questions and stimulating their minds, pushing them past just procedures? Are we forcing them to take ownership of what they're learning and lead themselves through it through curiosity? I think that's super important. But then teaching them how to ask questions themselves, to not just take everything as it's given, but to formulate opinions and ask questions. I think that's super important. And through that, I think collaboration and communication are also super important. Are they able to work with other students or professionals and listen and compromise and be respectful? Can they communicate? Can they process their thoughts and express them respectfully? But then not only written, but also orally. And are they able to reflect on their actions? Can they think about what they've done? What did you do well? What could you do better? And what did you learn? Different ways to just kind of think about the day and reflect on it. For me, I like to use Classroom Dojo, and that gives them the option to take ownership of not only individually, how am I doing in class, but then as a group, there's the point system. So they're responsible as a group to be successful together. And then also parents are able to kind of check in and see, what are we doing? How's my student doing? How's their group doing? Things like that. A normal day for me would be some sort of variation of stations. I like to have 5 different ones. I have writing where they are responding to a prompt or reflecting on the day. Technology, that would be Google Classrooms, Prezi, presenting what they've learned, so the higher level of like teaching what you know, Kahoots, quizzes, just different forms of technology. Independent, this would be tailored to them specifically. What do you need? What do I need you to practice on? How can I help you improve individually? This would be one of the only things that I think that they would work on themselves, by themselves and not as a group, would be this independent station. And then a game, a fun way to engage the students, to use what they've learned, to enjoy learning, some sort of game. And then the teacher station, lastly, I think is important to have that small one-on-one group where we are collaborating and I'm figuring out, what do my students need? How can I help them? And just kind of like engaging in a small group setting. For me, a lot of my assessing, I like to use Plickers. It's a fun way to do a quick little quiz for students, kind of just give me, okay, where are we at on this? What do I need to reteach, type of thing. And for me, I think the highest level of learning is teaching and application. So are you able to, at the end of a unit, create your own sort of non-traditional presentation of what you've learned? Can you teach what you've learned? Can you apply it? Tell me how it works in your life and how are you able to use what we've taught you? Just different ways of hands-on learning, them creating and taking ownership of their education.